Does Bad Buddy deserve its hype? Yes.
Awesome.
So, yeah, Bad Buddy just ended this week. I still remember. I was watching GMMTV 2021 lineup on the 3rd of December 2020 on YouTube. And I watched all the trailer, and I was waiting for only the BL teaser. I still remember it was the third BL series that was announced. And when the teaser started premiering I was questioning myself, is it a BL? Then I saw Nanan in it and I was like, it's definitely not a BL series. Then until the last scene I was not very sure if it's a BL series or just based on friendship. When I find out it was a BL series, I didn't have much expectation, because I heard somewhere that Nanan mother doesn't want him to do BL, so I thought they barely will have any chemistry or the series will end with them pressing their face. I had more interest in Enchant and Not Me than Bad Buddy. Then I watched the video of my fellow YouTuber friend BL Critic. Why Bad Buddy is special. So when BL Critic mentioned that novel is really good, and have LGBT representation, I was like, I have to read the novel, and I read the novel, in less than 2 days, and I loved it because it was angsty, dramatic, and fun to read. Even though some scenes were problematic in the novel, after reading the novel, and then Bad Buddy became my most anticipated BL series of 2021. So I really loved this series. Usually BL series have a strong start, then it drops really badly, and usually, that happens a lot in GMMTV BL series, that they usually start really well then God knows who loves to mess them up. But in Bad Buddy case it was quite the opposite. They had quite a weak start, with an amazing middle part, and with a pretty satisfying ending. By weak I mean a lackluster start. Like there is nothing memorable to me, especially in the first 3 episodes. I don't even remember much scenes from those 3 episodes. Expect that cringe-worthy fight scene that looks straight up from a parody action movie. I think the series also relied on the acting a lot. Like if these two were not the actors, the show wouldn't even get half of its popularity. I think for the writing part, it was shaky, sometimes being really basic or just kinda weak, or sometimes being a masterpiece. Like it couldn't able to maintain momentum. For example, episode 7 and episode 8 just being them acting cuddly boyfriends. Which is definitely not a bad thing. Because I had said in many BL series that sometimes when a couple start dating they don't look like boyfriends at all. But it wasn't the case for Bad Buddy, and episode 4, 5, 6, 10 and 11 being an emotional roller coaster, with mixed of everything. And we get some random scenes of Pat taking his shirt off. I know Om Patwad has a hot body, and I had a deep crush on him, and it's sure an eye candy to watch. But sometimes it just doesn't make sense. And as for Time Jump, I think the second Time Jump is not my favorite because there is no much difference between the Pat Pran from 5 years ago and then, like, they still look the same. So these things were really minor things, and it's not that thing that shouldn't bother anyone. Just my major problem will be that why didn't get a proper redemption arc after outing his friends. I know that they already showed that people are open-minded and didn't have any problem with people being gay. But still I was waiting for an apology, so this some things I didn't like in the shows. So let me tell you the things I love about the show. The amazing acting of the both actors. Like, in BL series from 2021 my major problem with how most the actors were really mediocre or just have one face in the entire show, or sometimes one actor is amazing and other one is mediocre one. But in their case, both Om and Nanan were equally amazing actors. Like I can feel every emotion without even them saying a single dialogue because of amazing facial expressions. Like I never feel that emotionally connected with BL characters. Like both have amazing facial expressions, and one thing I loved about the show is they represented the LGBT community very well this time. Like my major problem with BL series, they really love to use that hetero terms in BL series. Like the husband or wife terms were mocked in the series. There was none of the characters saying, I am not gay, I only like you trope. Characters are talking about their sexuality. There is no bottom or top stuff is going on like I had seen in BL series. There is always a talk about who is going to be bottom or who is going to be top. Like in general, BL doesn't have any verse couple, and the characters talking about the sexuality. Whenever I watch BL series, one always wants the character to either at least talk about their sexuality. Like it feel we are being represented, but mostly BL series completely ignored this, or will say, I am not gay, I only like you. Like it won't kill them if their characters say they are gay, bisexual or pansexual. Like we got everything I want to see in one BL. Pat being pansexual. Pran was hinted as gay. Pat Pran was a switch couple. They also talked about how they don't have to call each other husband and wife. We also got a GL couple. Like we rarely get a lesbian relationship, but I am glad we got it in Bad Buddy. They had sexual intimacy throughout the show, as I said earlier, like in the BL series. Most couples started to lose their chemistry after they become boyfriends. But that's one thing I loved about them. And plus we got a lots of couple scenes like usually in BL series. They stretch everything until the last episode. And the main lead saying I love you only in the last episode, so I am happy we got see a lots of couple moments. They had the healthiest relationship in GMMTV BL history. No one can change my mind, or the healthiest relationship in BL series in general. Pat is a walking green flag. He cares about Pran's feelings. He doesn't make him uncomfortable. He always put Pran as his first priority. And one thing I loved that Pran is equally invested in their relationship. Because sometimes, there is only one person who is there for his partner. And thanks BL God, for finally a couple having communication. Like 90% of couples I had seen in BL series always have miscommunication. Like couples are fighting over dumbest reason which can be sorted out in few minutes if they talk properly. But they don't wanna talk. Glad Pav decided to change it by making Pat Pran having communication as their strength. I also love how they stay true to their characters, because sometimes in series characters do things out of their character, but Pat and Pran stay true to their characters, like in episode 11 when I thought they broke up. I was like, it doesn't make sense according to their characters, because Pat and Pran were fighting for their relationship for so long, not for them to break up in the end. So I also loved that, and I loved how realistic the ending is. The families hated each other so much, like they hated each other for so long. It would be unrealistic for them to forget everything and act as nothing happened and act like friends. They just slowly accepted the fact they can't control their children's lives and have to accept their children relationship. I also love how this series is different from the novel, like it's almost 70% different from the novel, so fans can't figure out what's going to happen. So I can see them having a special web series like Still Together, and I think this is most gayest series from GMMTV. Even though this is a very basic plot, they had done it right. Like I never imagined I would love a series with such a basic plot, but PAOF really did it well. I love the cinematography. The music was perfect. The OST was perfection, even the lyrics tell the story. Both songs are in my playlist, so overall is 9 out of 10. Things I didn't like it were not that much of a big deal, and I am really attached to the series, so definitely my favorite BL series of all time. Thank you PAOF for such an amazing series.